games are going to be on the clock in just about 24 hours. Dan Orlovsky's here, Adam Schefter, Ryan Clark. Yes, we are in a small space once again. We'll see if anybody gets smacked in the face in this room. But either way.
A lot.
I don't know. Tomorrow we're all going to be together on a set here in Detroit. We also have Matt Miller joining us a little bit later. He has his latest and final mock draft. There's going to be a surprise trade that you don't want to miss. But Adam, now just about 24 hours away from the beginning of round one, take us through how you think the top will go based on the news you're hearing.
Well, we'll start at number one with the Chicago Bears, and it is no secret that Caleb Williams looks like he's going to be the number one overall pick for the Chicago Bears. They spent an awful lot of time on him. They traded away Justin Fields, and they are prepared to move forward with him, moving us to pick number two, which would be the Washington Commanders. And the signs continue to point to the LSU quarterback, the Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, becoming the second overall pick, which then would take us to pick number three, and the New England Patriots. And this seems to be the first action spot of the draft, whether the New England Patriots stay there and pick their quarterback of the future or whether they trade away that pick. The two teams that they've heard from the most so far are the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. Minnesota has 2-1s, but the Giants have the 6th overall pick. They're closer. Arizona is waiting at number 4 with their general manager, Monty Ossenfort, who did a lot of wheeling and dealing last year. They have said that they will not make a trade, if they make one at all, until they're on the clock on Thursday night. So that pick is for sale, but no sales are final until Thursday night if they even make one. And the New York Giants are at pick number 6. There's been some discussions with the Patriots at number 3. Everybody's waiting to see whether the Giants would go ahead and take a quarterback, whether that would be Drake May, the North Carolina quarterback, or potentially the Michigan quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, who they've done a lot of work on so far during this process. They went to Ann Arbor to work him out. They flew him to New York to visit with him. They spent Easter with J.J. McCarthy. And so there's a lot of work that the Giants have put in on quarterbacks. You can't ignore the fact that a quarterback is possible for the New York Giants right now at 6, and we'll see how that shakes out here on Thursday night, Laura.
So many ways they could go, to Adam's points there. But, Dan, let's talk specifically about the pairing of the Giants and Drake May. Does that make sense to you?
The closer I've gotten to the draft, it does. 2 reasons. 1, style, and 2, timeline. The style of play that Drake May excels at is the ability to, like, javelin the ball downfield. I mean, it's just launching the football down the field and hitting some of the big posts that Brian Daboll, who is the Giants offensive coordinator and head coach, really loves to dial up. And I think his ability to be accurate down the field plays well. And then the second element is the timeline element. And the reason I bring that up is Drake May gets to get drafted by the Giants. If that's the case, immediately he takes basically all the offseason reps because Daniel Jones is the person who's recovering from the injury. And then Daniel Jones becomes the starting quarterback once he's fully healthy. And Drake May gets to sit. And everyone knows that I've talked ad nauseum that he needs to work on his mechanics and not have the pressure of winning. So as we get closer to Thursday night, that's the team that I just feel most convicted about is a very good trade-up partner situation for Drake May.
Yeah, I think that's the key, right? If you can trade up and get Drake May and you've sort of earmarked him as the guy, then I believe that's something that you can do. But I believe the consensus on Drake May is that he does need to develop. He does need to get some more work and kind of refine some of those skills that can make him a really good professional quarterback. The thing I love about Drake May is I believe he has the most untapped potential of all the quarterback prospects in this draft. And we've seen a coach in Brian Daboll take a Josh Allen, who we knew had all this untapped potential and had an extremely high ceiling, and refine him and help him become one of the best in the league at the quarterback position. And so I'm looking forward to see how the New York Giants maneuver and what the New England Patriots think about their slot at number 3, the assets they could gain, and if New York has enough to go up and get their guy.
You know, RC, Ruddy, it's interesting, and Matt, you'll know this a little bit too, is how aggressive can they actually be, the Giants? We're a year away from them giving Daniel Jones a ton of money. So I think it's got to be tough for Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll to walk into their owner's building and say, while we gave Daniel Jones all this money a year ago, now we also want to take draft picks to move up in the draft to go get a person that essentially is going to replace that guy. I think how aggressive are they actually allowed to be by ownership factors in as well.
It is a rare quarterback class, and the other thing, too, is the guaranteed money isn't necessarily the situation for Daniel Jones. All right, let's go to Matt Miller, our draft analyst who we're bringing in now. Matt, what do you think about the potential of Drake May in New York with the Giants?
Yeah, I think what we're seeing right now is if you squint hard enough, Drake May kind of looks and plays and moves like Josh Allen, which is the connection that everyone wants to make with Brian Daboll. What I would say to that is, let's remember, Josh Allen struggled until what? Until Buffalo traded for Stephon Diggs. Who are the Giants' top two receivers right now? Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson. No disrespect to either guy. They're not that proven number one that Stephon Diggs was when he got to Buffalo. So I think if the Giants are going to trade up to get a Drake May, sure, I love that bid. I think Daboll is one of the best quarterback coaches in the NFL. My question would be, now how are you fixing the rest of this team that has been a problem? Because now you've committed all that money to Daniel Jones. You bring in Drew Lock as a free agent, as a bridge quarterback. Now you're going to have Drake May, who you've traded up to get. So your second-round pick that you have right now is probably gone. You traded your other second-round pick for Brian